Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your Monday evening financial market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for Monday, the 11th of August, 2025. And we're sitting here about 5:40 p.m. Central Time. I want to start off with an apology. I didn't have the physical wherewithal to put out the weekend updates. I so much wanted to. You know, I've had a bad back, put me down. Today I had finally, the doctors could see me, got the epidural shots this morning. I'm standing again, but a lot of this is the lidocaine, so we'll see how I feel in the morning next 2 days. They say it'll kick in after a while. I've had a chronic history of this, 2 back operations, so I know what it's all about, and it has to do with arthritis, you know, and I've had it since I'm in my 30s. So it's just one of those heredity things. My parents had it, so they gave me another gift, as I like to call it. But the heck with it. I'm able to do the reports. I didn't miss anything for my paid subscriber reports. I just did not do the freebies. All right. Let's take a look. We get the National Federation of Independent Business coming out at 5 in the morning. They're looking for a reading of 98.6. That's just under the prior reading. Let me see. The June reading, rather, 98.6. They're looking for 99 in July. It's the opposite of what I said. July Consumer Price Index comes out at 7:30. I write about that in my full research tonight and give all the estimates there. In the Red Book group, they're going to come out with U.S. retail sales at 7:55. They've been running 5.5 to 6.25%. Remember, the kids are going back to school. I don't know when your kids go back out there. In Illinois, a lot of them are starting now through next week. So they're getting back into the swing of things already. So that's important. Richmond Fed President Barkin's going to speak at 9 to a health management group. Here's the big news of the day. Gold, tariffs on gold, removed. None. They were 15% Friday. They're gone now. And gold tumbled about $80 on that news. President Trump takes over Washington, D.C. And I don't mean with his good manners. I mean that he has moved in 800 National Guard. He's prepared to bring in thousands if necessary. He wants crime down more than the mayor's doing. He wants the streets cleaned up of sanitation mess. He wants the nation's capital to be that. A real jewel that when people go to the nation's capital, they love it for the cleanliness. They have failed there, and he's taking it over. And don't say I don't go there. I have gone there. In fact, my wife had her party this weekend. We had press secretaries from some of the departments come in for her party. So it was pretty interesting. U.S. government to get 15% of the sales by NVIDIA and AMD chips to China. So interesting news. Actually, it was one press secretary and her good friends. So I'll leave it at that. And she asked me not to name her. Okay, so when I look at all this, I think this is important. Now, the China news, that's real important because Trump also signed the executive order, another day, 90 days of truce to keep the raw materials coming in for, as you know, these raw earths that we don't have. He asked China to buy 4-fold the amount of beans. They're not going to do that. Beans rallied on the news, but no way they're going to do that. They might buy more, but they're not probably going to go back and say, oh, Brazil, we're not going to take your beans. We're going to do this. And they're just setting up deals with Argentina. So we proved to be the people of last resort, but they'll buy something. And the market realizes, why not? What do they have to lose? They need the beans, so they'll buy some token amounts. That's how I'm viewing it. All right. So when we look at the chart, you can see that tonight, market's coming down. And I am expecting a little bit of corrections here. When I look at the gold market, down $10, I like that, by the way. If you saw my gold report, maybe I didn't tell you about that, and we should take a look at that too. I've done a special report on gold over the weekend. I thought I could do one on the dollar to go with it. I could not do that. So what I've got going here is I've done the seasonal charts, the price counts, GLD, GDX, the gold market. I give you the tariff talk in it, what I think is going on. This is beyond super sensitive in terms of timing. The report's only up 3 days, so it's through Wednesday. All you need to do is give a click up here. It'll take you to that report. It's on our website for those of you that are not paid members of my subscriptions. Paid members, just go to your member login. If I feel good tomorrow, the dollar report's coming out right behind it. And then after that, probably something on one of the stock markets. So, and I'm not talking an index, one of the stocks. So we'll start doing things like that as well. I beg that you don't forget, you can write me questions at Epstein at Linn LLC, and I answer them now in our mailbag section of our paid webinars. You heard that, that's a subscription to go with it. Not the special report. That's not a paid webinar in my opinion. All right, so let's go to the market and come back over where we were talking. All right, so if we take a look at the S&P, you can see how the market's come up here, fighting a pretty good battle as to where it's at. It hasn't given up much. I mean, when you visually look at the chart, it's a close-only chart, and it's still very, very good. But you're sort of stuck in the middle of no man's land. I pointed this out a week ago, high and low, and you're right there. The pattern is bullish. You have higher lows, higher highs. That would change if you take out this low of 2 days ago. But until that happens, the support's the 18-day average of closes. You are caught in the sideways action of Bollinger Bands. And I know I started the month off. It seems a long time ago, but it's the 11th of August. And I said, the worst trading month of the year for stock indices is often, I can't say it always is, but is often August. People just aren't interested. They're turning their way. The kids are going back to school, or they're finishing up the last of vacations before they go. And that's what often happens. Momentum-wise, trend's still up. So the battleground is 63.74.5 roughly. The market's got to hold that. When you come to the NASDAQ, because the tech stocks have been so on fire, it's gone up and challenged the old high. Couldn't get through it, and it's overbought. I'd be very cautious about buying into a Bollinger Band. I always am. And the two weak markets are the Dow and the Russell. And you can see you're in a downtrend in the Dow. Might be headed to support 43,695 to 43,609. The 200-day average in gray in the lower Bollinger Band. You'd have to take out today's high in order to say, nah, let me pause that. It wouldn't turn anything bullish, but that would put a pause on that bearishness. And the same type of story, similar, happening in the Russell, where now I see the 2216 level as support and the 18-day average as resistance, and momentum sideways. When we look at the DAX, all the market did is rally back to the 18-day average and sort of fail right there. It couldn't do anything. It got up there, spent 48 hours, pulled right back. When we take a look at the 30-year bond, you've lost your bullish momentum. Now, this is the market that had the bullish embedded momentum. It got what we call 3 days over the 80 level. It lost that on Friday, which means to me, before markets go up and get over that high, price in the 18-day average should attack the red and the green, the 100-day and the 18-day average of closes. We'll see if that comes about or not. In the 5-year note, you were overbought, you're correcting. I look for support at the 18-day average of closes in red. In the dollar index, the battleground's right here, the 18-day average. If you can rally from here, maybe you can get back to the 200-day average in green. If you get back under the lows of Friday, then I think you open the door up for the 96 level. You're at a real tricky spot on these charts in the dollar. In the eurocurrency, everything's come to a halt at the 18-day average of closes. And while the trend is up, the bias is not. It's looking like this. What's the dollar doing? What should I be doing? That's exactly what's going on. The British pound is friendly at this point. It's been able now for 4 days to stay up and over the 18-day average of closes. The support on pullbacks is between the 18-day average and the 100. I don't want to see it back under 132.65, but it's looking good right there. I think we missed one. In Bitcoin, need I say that we talked last week. If it went up, I thought that the upper Bollinger Band could be in play. It was, and now I think the 18-day average is in play. But this was a trade bottom. And go to any of the videos we were putting out last week, and I was saying that as painful as it was, I was having trouble standing for 10 minutes last week, to give you an idea. I cannot tell you how many times the shooting pains were crazy. In the Brent, lower highs, lower lows, the market fighting its battle at the 100-day average in green, but the trend is clearly down. I've moved to the October WTI now too. It's following suit. You can see that clear as can be. They're both the same chart. Bearish, but oversold. Then I'm moving to October gasoline, and it's bearish, oversold. That's the word. And October nat gas, still bearish and oversold. So you've got that play. Is it an exciting time to trade? It is not. Is it a trade now where you get whips back and forth? Yeah, you got to keep them very small. There are times when markets make the moves, times when they don't. I don't like the month of August typically. So far, it's living up to its reputation. Again, be certain to go to the website, take a look at the special report on metals. You can click up here. It's at iraepstein.com. Look on the top left. And if you're a paid subscriber, just go to your member login. It's waiting for you. Look for a dollar report on me right away. If I feel good in the morning, I'm going to do one there as another special report. We can have two side by side. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great day. Watch the other videos, and I'll catch up with you in the morning. Take care.